And this is it, man. One of the biggest things that Christians have to deal with is relationships.
Yeah.
It's the biggest topic. It's the hottest topic, and this is one that we've had actually in the past.
Yeah.
What feels better to you? Would you rather date a mature Christian or a new believer?
Okay, now I've had this we've had this topic on the internet radio show.
Yeah,
and I was blasted by some of the ladies in my church, some of the women that I serve within ministry for my opinion, and it was like, she was just like, she was like, okay, this is my take on it. I feel like if you come to a woman, she's a new believer, and she's never quite really met a man of God that was kind of like a stabilizer for her. You being that man of God could be ultimately a life-altering, changing experience for her. She may look at every other man differently now. She may look for a different quality in a man now that she's met a man who's saved, who's walking the walk, versus someone who's just like, oh, okay, I'm trying to do this, I want to get this done, and I'm going to do this, but behind closed doors, I'm going to show you another person.
So what would you want?
For me, it doesn't matter. I've always said it doesn't matter, because my whole thing is just like, forgive as your Father in heaven is forgiving you. So if you've done your dirt, but you've come and you've like washed yourself and said, you know what, I just want to be pure in Christ, I just want to be whole, then I'm cool with that. I've dated superly spiritual women, yes, and then I've dated some that were just like, okay, I love this Jesus guy, but I don't know what to do next.
Ryan has let the cat out of the bag.
Actually, that was the censored,
I know,
unrated version.
Okay, now let me ask the question a different way. What should you do?
No, let me ask you the question. What should you do? Because I talked already.
This is how I feel, man. Like, and this kind of goes back to our other topic. Christian women are not sexy.
Ooh.
Do I need to go back there again?
Yes, please.
Talk about it just a little.
We have some visitors in the building that might not know what that means all the way.
I'm gonna leave you guessing. If you want to know what that means, you got to go to the MySpace page and check it out. We just put it up actually a couple days ago, and you could download the whole conversation. And the topic is Christian women are not sexy. I'm gonna tell you how that feeds in, because this is the problem, and this is probably why Ryan doesn't like a mature.
Hey, wait.
No, because we talked about this before. This ain't new.
Lauren's sitting beside me though.
She knows.
Oh, she's okay.
It's because
she rubbing his back. She feels sorry for him. She rubbing his back.
But
you're gonna get her in trouble.
yeah, you will. But this is the thing. This is what I've come across. When you get a really, really super, mature Christian, they tend to lose the that. You know what I'm talking about, Jeremiah.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Don't look at me like that. You know what I'm talking about.
Jeremiah wrote the song. He knows what he's talking about.
Exactly. Not, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know. They're not. I don't know. What is it, Ryan?
I can't remember the words I used from the last time, but
what is it, Ryan? It's hard to get.
It's like Lauren's sitting beside me, so I'm.
Can you please leave?
Lauren, you gotta go. I'm sorry, you gotta go.
Can you please? She won't leave.
She won't leave. That's sad.
I think in the most honest way that we went to it last time was that a man wants to feel like he's got that edge.
Yeah.
Where God is speaking to him about the relationship and saying, I'm holding you accountable.
Exactly.
And
that's what the point
a man doesn't want to come in and see his wife holding him accountable for the relationship.
And telling him when to stop, and telling him that he's doing
especially when you're not married. Now, I understand submission is equal when you're married. But when you're not married and you're in a relationship and y'all are just dating and y'all are, going through different levels of intimacy and you go a little too far, it's like you don't want the woman to tell you no.
What's a little too far, Ryan?
I don't know. I've never been there, so I can't.
No, this is real. Just keep it real, Ryan. This is why, because the new Christian will make you feel like a king. Will make you feel like you the hottest thing coming since bread and butter and knives and stuff.
And that's what a girl told me. A girl was like, you cannot take a woman's spiritual virginity. That is like pimping somebody. And I'm like, whoa, those are real harsh words to use. I'm not trying to pimp somebody out of their spiritual virginity. That's crazy.
No, but in the thing though, Ryan, when you with a girl or a girl's attracted to you that's new, or she she is a lot more passionate than the person that's real, protective of, making sure
Right.
she doesn't do anything
Because-
wrong, and you know what I'm saying?
And that's one thing is that, and I'll say this, a mature woman of God is going to take that to the throne, where the other woman is going to let her flesh talk to you too. It's like,
and whether
okay.
whether you admit it or not, that's attractive.
yeah, yeah. My flesh is talking back. It's like, yeah, okay.
And I don't know what it is. It's like, why can't even when you're mature and you decide to be with somebody, why can't you show them that same passion? Like, what's wrong with that? Is that
I think they remove themselves, and it becomes so much about the relationship with Christ that, I mean, of course you're supposed to get pushed down, but there's a new believer that's saying, yeah, I'm still uncomfortable, but one thing I am comfortable with is where my flesh and my heart is,
And it's like they're so afraid to do something wrong.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
should I say my flesh and my mind? Because your heart
Okay.
is going to be on Christ, but your flesh and your mind are like, yeah, I like this guy. I'm feeling him. He's got a good vibe about him, and he's attractive. So yeah, they're going to
And this is the
automatically
other
be like,
thing.
Walk.
It's the superhero factor.
Yes.
When they're around a bunch of dudes that ain't got nothing going for them, and then they see you,
Oh yeah.
it's like lights turn on.
Yeah. It's like
Superman.
the phone rings, and it's like, oh, I don't want to deal with this.
You
guy,
are now
man.
their saving grace.
And then your number pops up in the caller ID, and it's like, hello. I want to make sure I didn't miss you. I'm gonna miss your call.
And it's like everything they hang on your every word, and it's like why when a girl gets mature in the faith, she can't look up to the man the same way.
But you know what? That can also be dangerous too.
Okay.
Because a new believer could be so like fresh on their walk. You do something wrong, and it's like, oh, all men are the same. I knew it.
Exactly.
There's-
And-
and then you scar the
Their
her
salvation is this.
yeah. Because then they're like, I thought you would never hurt me. I thought you would never do that. And I'm like, well, I mean, I didn't intentionally
I'm a
do
regular
it.
dude
I'm
too,
a
and I
regular
have the
person.
same struggles. It's just I have a
Right.
God that's bigger than me that can help me out with them.
Right, and
That's
I
the
submit to him. So it's not about me anymore. It's really about what he tells me to, what he works through me.
So what's a guy to do? What's a guy to do when you have a mature Christian woman that isn't as eager? Because there's a bunch of other Christian dudes around all the time, right? So
Yeah.
you're not that
You don't
special.
really stand. You're not phasing me.
You're not that special. So she don't hang on your word like like the new girl. What do you do? How do you handle that, Chris?
I don't know.
I don't know.
What do y'all think?
Should we let some of our track stars ladies on the mic?
No.
I mean, I really think their opinion matters at this point.
No.
About a mature man in Christ. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we have female track stars getting ready to give us a little bit of their opinion on what they think is the business.
Producer Lauren,
Hey,
what's going on?
what's going on?
What you think?
Wow. Well, surprisingly, I know I wanted to hit Ryan earlier, but I do agree with you guys. I think that a lot of times Christian women aren't sexy, or they lose that appeal when they're growing in the faith, I'm guessing. And so a lot of times when they get to that point where they're kind of growing in their faith, they lose that appeal because I guess it's ingrained in them to, focus on Christ. Don't worry about the man. Let him come to you. So a lot of times when they get familiar with what a Christian guy is about and what he is, it becomes a norm for them. So it's like when a Christian guy's approaching them is not a big deal. Whereas the new believer, she's going to be amazed at a believer. They're going to be like, wow, this guy's amazing. He's great. But at the same time, the new believer is not consistent because they are looking at you as the hero. And a lot of times they see the God in you. So they're expecting you to be just like God. So if you mess up, they're going to be out the door. But the mature believer will probably stick with you. So I think both types of women need to balance. Like the new believer needs to grow. I don't think a guy should just say, oh, I want a new believer and take her in. I think you should look at being evenly yoked and seeing what level they're on. And then with the mature believer, I think that they should recognize what a man of God is truly about. A lot of times they don't get it until they see that man in another circle and other people appreciating them. Then they realize what they have.
So let me ask you this question. What about, flip it, a woman dating a new believer versus a mature believer?
Wow. Well, I would say for women, I feel like we're a little bit more limited because we're supposed to have a guy that's a little bit more spiritually mature than we are. That's what we desire. So if we're mature, I'm not going to look for a new believer